Hi there everyone. Today I'll be going over the selective school placement test, specifically for the mathematics section of the exam. I'll be going over question 16, 17 and 18 today, mainly because it is a graphing type question and I've had a few messages asking me to do this. So, looking at the question, you can see that this graph actually has three sections. So usually at school you only deal with the y and the x-axis. So in this question, there's actually a third series of information right on the side here. So over here we have the height above Earth's surface. At the bottom we have the temperature, and on the right we have the thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere. So again, usually in primary school you just deal with 1 and 2 at the bottom. So reading the question, it just says, the air above the Earth's surface is divided into different layers. The temperature of the air at different heights above the sea level and the positions of the different layers are shown in this graph. So the first assumption students have to make is, over here it does say height above Earth's surface in kilometers. The students have to assume that that is above Earth's surface just means sea level, as it's stated at the bottom. So let's look at the first question. What is the approximate air temperature 40 kilometers above sea level? Now, before we get started with this question, I'd like to point out that this thick black line that goes all the way up the graph, that is actually the air temperature that the question is going to be referring to in the respective layer of the atmosphere. So if the question says 40 kilometers above sea level, we just go up here to 40 kilometers and you work your way to the right until you hit the thick black line that I just mentioned. So once you hit the thick black line, you just work your way down, and you will see that it's around minus 20 degrees Celsius to minus 22 degrees Celsius. So if we look at the options, the answer would be C, minus 20 degrees Celsius. The next question, question 17. According to the graph, if the temperature is 60 degrees Celsius, the height above sea level is. So minus 60 degrees Celsius. So what we have to do is we look at minus 60 degrees Celsius right over here, and we start working our way up. So as we're working up, the black line, we encounter it once, and we keep going and we encounter it twice. So the reason I said twice is because most of the time when we have given this exam to the students, they usually look at the first one and then stop, and then they look at 77 and they go look at the answers. You're not supposed to do that. You work, every time you get these questions, you make sure you draw the line all the way up. Right? So we can see that it encounters it once and twice. So over here you should start working your way to the left, and same thing with the temperature above, the height above, sorry. So if we look at the options, the first option is minus 25 kilometers. So just for explanation's sake, minus 25 will not be the answer. If this is sea level, minus 25 will be below the ground. Minus 25. Right? Kilometers. So I don't want students to get confused between minus 25 degrees Celsius and minus 25 kilometers. That's completely different. So that minus 25 is not the answer. 85 kilometers, well, let's look at the answers. So 85 kilometers would be right about here somewhere. And no, that is not the answer as well. Because if you go down here and you make your way to the bottom, this is minus 90 degrees Celsius. And the question wants minus 60 degrees Celsius. So no, that's not the answer. So if you look at D, D would be the answer. Either 71 or 98. So if we scroll back up again, you can see the first time it encounters it is around 70 kilometers. And the second time is around 100, and we can see that it's fairly close to 100 kilometers above sea level, so we can say that's about 98. So that would be the answer to question 17. Now, just quickly, before I carry on to question 18, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to our website. We do provide online tutoring now. We've had a few messages in our inbox. So if you just go to our website, the link's in the description below. You just go to info, online tutoring. All information is here. We tutor for selective school, OC, HEC, pretty much any exam in Australia. So it's pretty much worldwide tutoring, so it doesn't matter if you live in another country, we can still help you out with this exam. The prices are just listed below. It starts from $17.50 per hour, and the videos will just be like how I'm making them now. So if you're happy, if you like what I'm doing now and you would like one-on-one tutoring, feel free to just go to our website and contact us through that. We do have a video library as well with more than 100 hours of videos, and that is from $30 a month. So if you don't want online tutoring but you just want the videos that I have or that we make, you can get that from little as $30 a month. So if you're interested in that, just click on the link in the description below and we'll take it from there. So back to the question. Question 18. According to the graph, the lowest temperature normally reached in the mesosphere is. Now, this is a trick question, right? A lot of the students get this question wrong, so let me explain why. So if you scroll up, we'll see the mesosphere is right over here. That is a bit thick, so let's just use a black pen. So the mesosphere is right there. So what a lot of people will do is they will look at this, they will look at they will look at the graph and they will say, okay, so if this is the layer of the mesosphere, so the upper level is 80 kilometers and the lower level is 50 kilometers. This region right here is the mesosphere. And just by force of habit, everyone will just look at the lowest point over here and they will say, yep, sweet, that must be the lowest temperature because that's the lowest point on the graph. They will look at that and then they'll go down and they'll be like, okay, the answer is around 0 degrees Celsius. So they'll go to the answers and you'll see that it's about 2, and they will incorrectly select 2 degrees Celsius as the answer. So the correct way of doing it is you firstly identify the mesosphere just like I did with the green bars. Then what you have to do is you have to trace down the endpoints. So the endpoints, one of it would be here. You make your way down just like as I did initially. And the other endpoint is here. So you keep scrolling, keeps going down. So this bottom line that I'm drawing at the bottom, this represents the variance in temperature in the mesosphere. So what this means is in the mesosphere, the highest temperature would be around 0 degrees Celsius, and the lowest temperature would be around, I'd say maybe minus 90 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so around that. So this is what you actually have to use to solve the answer. So we can say safely that it would be minus 90 degrees Celsius. So we scroll down to the answer and say, yeah, okay, minus 95, that would be about the correct answer for this question. So looking at these 3 questions, to summarize, question 16, I'd say about 85% of the students will easily answer this. It's not that difficult. Question 17, a lot of students make a common mistake of they find the first point, which was here, around 70 kilometers above the Earth's atmosphere. They will scroll down to the answers and then they will start looking for 70 kilometers. And then they'll start getting confused. But what you have to do is you have to make sure that you keep drawing the line all the way up and realize that there's actually 2 points. So just be careful of that. So question 17, a lot of people do get them right, but fair amount make a mistake, so I'd say about 60%. Question 18, usually I'd say maybe 10%, at best 5% of our students answer question 18 correctly, only because they make that silly mistake that I just pointed out earlier. So that's pretty much the end of the video. Like I mentioned, after question 17, if you're interested in online tutoring, just please visit our website in the link in the description below and like and subscribe to this video if you liked it, and I'll post more up shortly. Thanks.